Kano gubernatorial verdict. APC speaks on trading off Kano for peace. Can you imagine? After they've been defeated, they say they traded off Kano. So it means that they had a rigging strategy that they would have used on the judiciary to still retain the state. Why did they? So they know that the violence in that state could lead to civil war. That is why they had to let it be. Can you imagine what they are saying? Eh? Okay. So the All Progressive Congress (APC) has categorically denied rumors suggesting that the party might have intentionally relinquished the governorship seat in Kano State as part of strategy to prevent potential violence following court decisions. So this clarification comes in the wake of the Supreme Court ruling last Friday, which the party described as a decision grounded in legal considerations made by respected judges. So in an interview with the APC's Deputy National Organizing Secretary, Nze Duru, addressed these speculations. He emphasized that while the APC would have preferred a victory in Kano State, it respects and adheres to the rulings of the judiciary. He said the judiciary spoke, and that is why we have the various tiers of the judiciary. You have the trial court, and then you have the Court of Appeal. Thereafter, you have the Supreme Court. And that is not in any way to denigrate the understanding of the learned justices who were at the various levels of adjudication systems. So the trial court appreciated and pronounced the fact as they understood it. And the same thing happened when they went to the Court of Appeal. So it was also basically to that extent they appreciated the matter, and those in the final court saw it differently, and then of course pronounced judgment based on the facts that were before them. So it does not in any way denigrate our section of the arm of the judiciary against the other, and it is in the or denigrate one section of the arm of the judiciary against the other, and it is in the wisdom of our founding fathers that we have these various layers of adjudicational process. Okay, that first, if you err at the trial court, then those at the higher court may then look at it and find a different understanding based on the understanding that they have. I did not see any politics in it. I did not also see any arrangement based on that. What did happen was that at the trial court, they understood the fact differently, and at the Court of Appeal, they also understood it, but more importantly, at the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter in the judicial process, a different understanding was given to it, and a pronouncement was made accordingly. Law is what it is. Law is based on law and then on facts. And if, for anything, I want to believe that we should applaud our judiciary for again rising up to the occasion and then espousing the law in a way that Nigerians are confident that you can actually take your differences and grievances to an impartial arbiter, and there will be justice dispensed in a way that is satisfactory to all parties involved. It is also commendable in a way that it did also suggest that even if there is the suspicion of an interference in the arm of government, that Friday's ruling and exposition on the part of the judiciary also did show that they are essentially independent. It gives confidence to both the political actors, and the only way you can win election really and frankly is to reach to the electorate, to canvass your views, your ideas and your ideals, share your manifestos with them, and then when you win fair and square. Can you imagine? So what are you saying now? So he's trying to dispel or rather try to say this is not political. The judgment for the Supreme Court against the APC in the Kano State is not political. Meanwhile, a lot of people have seen that they knew that that election or that judgment was given to avert trouble and violence in the state. But he's trying to say here, the APC chieftain is trying to say that they respect the judiciary, and the judgment was based on law and knowledge and judgment of the justices, and they respect it, and law is law. Okay, but everybody knows that if they had not given that judgment to Nnpp, Kano would have been on fire, and that can escalate into engulfing the entire country. Okay, this APC, they even when they lose, they will find a way to defend their loss. Nobody wants to say, I gave up or something. You lost, you lost. You don't want to own that you gave up. Okay, because generally everybody was expecting APC to use the instrument of the judiciary as usual to collect all the states. Well, everybody was surprised that almost all the states were left at status quo. They didn't change their victory. Oh, wow. And people are already commenting here. Somebody said lies. How do you think Ganduje felt after the judgment? He pained on a child. That is it. He pained them. But just that they can't help it. They just can't help it. Okay? If they had done something differently, I tell you that state would have been on fire. Something simple. Law is what it is. Law should be based on law. In that instance, the judgment that removed the Plateau legislators clearly has no place in law. Exactly. They are giving it to them all. So they make them not trade for peace. They were forced. They were forced by the citizens to do the right thing. Not be small thing. So say you be mumu. They were forced by citizens to do the right thing. They told them if you do nonsense, the place will be burned down and nothing will happen. That is it. And so this is one where happen so. This one where happen so. Just watch out to APC go collect one impossible one for another state via this same Supreme Court. I suspect something cooking in the south. Yes, so they are looking for one state like River State to collect, so that by the time there's trouble in that state and it goes to judiciary and judiciary gives them the state, they will say, after all, the same judiciary that gave all the other parties, all other states during election talks. Okay, and they are eyeing to collect River State through Wiki, and everybody is watching it. I tell you. Okay, so Mr. Kano voted for Nnpp and not this criminal organization called APC. If Supreme Court had done otherwise, the government for hearer. APC will surely look for English to cover up. Of course, they will look for English to cover up. If they had done anything nonsense in that state, I tell you, the fire wouldn't have been easy. They wouldn't have been able to quench it. APC will surely look for English to cover up. Oh, yes, so talking as if they first won the election, criminals. APC has been so heated that it's going to be difficult for anybody to trust the party again, both now and in the future. And some will say, but that is the fact. If Supreme Court had sacked the governor of Kano State, Kano would be boiling by now. That is it. So, if you like, don't agree that that thing was done for peace to reign in the state. But everybody knows that it was done for peace to reign in that state. Kano people, I hail you. They tried. Only that Kano has a lot of underage voters. People, children, they wear them native, wear them old men's clothes so that you think that they're very old. They think they have sense. And the commissioner of police, that period of election, was saying that they were asking him, look at these small children that are voting, that are on the line to validate their voters register. What can you say about them? The whole commissioner of police said that those small children, how do you know they are children by just mere looking at them? They could have been dwarfed. So if you see children you don't know. So that is one thing that they need to cancel in Kano State and some parts of the north, where underage children are registering. INEC will register them and they will vote. The same situation when they said if you remove those children, we will burn down Kano. So they left them. No one state has monopoly of violence in the other ways. So they should make sure that in the midst of trying to fight for their right, they don't violate the laws as well. Some say there is no way APC can win Kano State. It is the insistence of Ganduje that the court ruled for, not merit. Don't say trade-off. It wasn't Nnpp that wrote the appeal court judgment with their suppressed late to incline to APC's request because they didn't win the election. Okay, what brings smoke if there is no fire? Of course, now fire go now fire go bring smoke now. So that is what is happening in Kano State. Okay, gubernatorial verdict. APC speaks on trading off Kano for peace. They say they didn't trade off Kano for peace, but if they had given that state to APC, they would have been fire. Why not try it and see? Okay, so thank you for listening, and let's have your comment for sharing.